Yeah.
Excellent. So, what was your curious question of the week?
Okay. So last week, Jang was on in the comment, and she said she was mentioning about diet and stuff like that, and I realized, hey, she only has a couple hours of sleep per night, right? So I was thinking, all right, what does sleep have to do with our weight? Does it affect our weight positively, negatively, in any way? And I looked online. According to WebMD, our body has a check and balance system that controls how hungry we are and how full we are. There's something called ghrelin, which are produced in the gastrointestinal tract, and it stimulates appetite. So it tells us when we want to eat or when we need to eat or when we feel hungry. And then there's a thing called leptin that's produced in the fat cell. And basically leptin sends a signal to our brain that tells us, hey, you're full now, or hey, you're not full, you're still hungry. All right. So what happened was there were these doctors that did a study with 12 healthy men, and they restricted their sleep. They restricted sleep for 2 days, and then they let them sleep for 2 days. So during that study, they found out that people who had less sleep had lower levels of leptin and higher levels of ghrelin. So when you have lower levels of leptin, basically it tells your body that you aren't full after you finish eating. You're not as satisfied. And because they had higher levels of ghrelin, it basically tells their body that, hey, I want to eat more. You know, they have a much higher appetite when they wake up from their lack of sleep. So that was the outcome of the study right there. So I guess their conclusion was just just to sleep more. When you have lack of sleep, you have this unbalanced system in your body, and it makes you more hungry and you're less satisfied when you do eat. So, once people start eating a lot more because of lack of sleep, they're gonna, gain a lot more weight. But I can kind of see from a common sense standpoint how that would make sense. If you lack sleep, you'll be tired, right? If you're tired, your body's gonna say, hey, you need to consume more energy. So people would drink coffee, right, when they're tired. They're taking more sugar, they're taking more carbs, their body is screaming for those things, and then once you eat those kind of promote like fat cells, and you get fat off of it, and you get too much calorie from it, and stuff like that. Now another note to take from this is sleep apnea. Now, even though they're having lack of sleep and it's increasing and decreasing these chemicals in the body, what sleep apnea is basically some people can stop breathing for 1 minute while they're sleeping because of some physical disorder in their throat. And there's a flap between near the back of our throat. When you're sleeping and you're in a wrong position, or it'll close, and some people won't breathe for like 1 minute, and they can do that up to like hundreds of times in 1 hour. So you can imagine while they're sleeping for 8 hours, it's almost like if they're just sleeping for 4 hours. So even when they get a full day's rest and they wake up, they feel really, really tired. And a lot of people have sleep apnea. I might have to check myself if I have sleep apnea or not, because they say a lot of people sleep apnea, they snore. And I know I snore when I go to sleep, and sometimes I'm tired even after 8 to 10 hours rest. And they say people who are obese are more prone to sleep apnea because their guess is that our neck is a lot thicker, is a lot fatter, so it kind of constricts the air passage in our throat, and that can cause the flap to close while we're sleeping. So yeah, that's just another point right there that I think we can look more into.
Damn. That's a lot, man.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff, and all we're talking about is just sleeping, right? Something that people take for granted. So what I'm gonna do from now on is just make sure I get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and I'm gonna check myself for sleep apnea, and I want to see what difference it makes, in terms of energy and appetite, and how if I feel satisfied after I eat a meal. So yeah.
Yeah, I recognize the feeling hungry when you don't sleep because I used to be a pretty big like 2 hour, 3 hour sleeper and then back to it. And you get hungry and hungry and you just eat and you wouldn't
Yeah.
be satisfied. I wonder if that's responsible for some of that freshman 5 pounds. Maybe it's just not or is it freshman 15 that they say?
Is that what they call it?
Yeah,
I've never heard of that before. You're just saying people who gain weight during college years?
yeah, like the first time you go to like the first year of college, I guess most college students gain 15 pounds. And so maybe it's a
Yeah.
combination of, alcohol, of course, but then also probably not sleeping too much and being hungry because of
Yeah.
that. And but
Yeah, I remember back in college, I would get around 2 to 4 hours of sleep every single night, and I gained the most weight during college. That was the time. Who knows? Maybe that has something to do with it, or maybe it has to do something with because a lot of kids move out, while they're in college. They get to eat anything they want, so it's not home cooked meals anymore. And since a lot of people can't cook themselves, they start eating a lot of fast food and junk food and all the stuff that they can buy outside. So. Yeah.
Josh Frink was asking about stress. Now, are you asking about stress adds on to eating bad food, or is stress being caused by the imbalance of the two chemicals in the system? It's a mouthful. I guess the question is, does stress make you eat unhealthier? I'm going to say probably. It's like a drug. Oh yeah, adding
I
on
was
to the
talking about
freshman
the
weight.
freshman weight.
Yeah, yeah, probably stress is adding on to that as well. It's just one of many attributes.
Maybe because like again, if they're going to the freshman year in college, you probably move out of the house or you're living in a dorm or someplace like that, and everything is brand new to them. So maybe they're stressed out for that year, so they gain weight.
They're
But
screwed, man. They got all sorts of things going on. They got new experience. They got stress. They got this lack of
no
sleep,
friends.
and then all this bad food that they're not being satisfied because they're not sleeping. So the chemicals in their system are saying you're not satisfied, so eat more of this. It's over with.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, did how much weight did you gain during your college year, Dano?
I don't even know. I didn't go to a traditional college. Though. I went to a state college, so I didn't have
Okay.
dorms and such. I was just living on my own,
Okay.
or was living with my soon-to-be wife
Yeah.
all those years
Yeah.
ago.
All right. So you actually met her during I mean, you were with her during freshman year of college too, right?
Yeah, I went through all the college experience with her there. So, but she didn't go to the same college or anything. But
Yeah.
she was there when I was mounting my projects onto electric Max board,
Yeah.
stressing out,
Yeah.
procrastinating at the last minute, like, oh, why is this thing looking correct?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that crack jokes about like how girls start gaining a lot of weight in college, and I'm just thinking because during high school and middle school and elementary they require a PE class, right? A class where you have to work out and be fit and take the fitness test and stuff like that. Once you're in college, you're off on your own. You got the stress level, you got the lack of sleep, you got the bad diet because you're not cooking most of your meals, you're eating outside and the whole ramen noodle MSG carb type of thing. Yeah, and then you also have the, I guess if you're not the active type, the lack of sports. Yeah, sports or exercise or anything like that the school require because they don't require that from you.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting in class all day, you're studying, you're sitting all day long, you're on the computer all day long, so yeah. What do you think? You think that wraps up the whole show right here?
I think that's a good wrapping point. And again, if there are any questions in the audience, feel free to type them away. It's one of the fun
Yeah.
parts about doing it live is we can actually get a response from our audience and take some questions.
Yeah, and if you're hearing this on your podcast or from iTunes or anything like that, and you want to get more information about Andy versus Dano, just go ahead and go to andyvsdano.com. That's andyvsdano.com. If you have some other questions or recommendations or videos that you want to show us, go ahead and send it to andyvsdano@gmail.com. And if you have something that you want to tweet to us or just want to connect with us on a personal basis, then go ahead and tweet us at andyvsdano. Or if you want to reach us individually, that's at Andy_VS or at Dano_VS.
Show your
So there's
support.
many ways to reach us. Yeah, it'll be all on the bottom of the bar of this video. So with that, I will see everyone at our next webcast. All right.
Thank you for watching. Thank you.
Yeah!